So we covered the Minneapolis story. Now, in Minneapolis, Donald Trump was having an argument with the city of Minneapolis and the mayor because they wanted him to pay in advance for his security. Why did they want him to do that? Well, because the Trump administration had been stiffing cities on security costs. And Donald Trump pointed out that his security bill was way higher than Barack Obama's was a little while prior. Here's the thing, though. Barack Obama was just giving a speech in a certain area, whereas Donald Trump was having an entire rally. So right there, it makes sense why one would cost more than the other. And second of all, a week prior, a Trump supporter in Minneapolis was threatening a Warren supporter with a gun. So, I can see why maybe security costs a little bit more, given the nature of the event and given some things that kind of led up to it. That's a little understandable. I'm sorry. But, so anyway, Donald Trump, that was a big to-do. Well, here's a follow-up on that. It seems like this is still going. The Trump campaign has over $1 million in outstanding bills from American cities. Albuquerque is now the latest city to join, which, by the way, Albuquerque, we're coming. But anyway, Albuquerque has joined a lengthy list of U.S. cities with a simple request that President Trump's campaign pay for the cost incurred during a rally. On Wednesday, the Albuquerque Journal reported that the city sent an invoice to Trump's re-election campaign in an effort to recoup more than $211,000 in expenses from a September rally. That figure includes more than $71,000 in police overtime. Donald Trump, the first to always say Blue Lives Matter, the first to always praise the police, but he doesn't think they're worth paying, apparently. He doesn't think the cops are worth paying. All right. The Trump campaign's indifference to municipal bills has become a significant issue earlier this month when the city of Minneapolis, we covered that here on the show, attempted to get paid in advance for a rally Trump was planning to hold in the city. The president and his campaign publicly berated Minneapolis mayor, but even then it was easy to see why a city would want Trump's team to pay in advance. As the Minneapolis rally loomed, CNN went back to a number of cities that had been identified in June by the Center for Public Integrity as places with outstanding bills into the Trump campaign. CNN found that there were at least 141,000 still outstanding. This is the president doing this. The president is stiffing cities in our own country on security bills. He's just not paying them. He just doesn't feel like he should have to pay them. Just not paying for his own security. The president of the United States is doing that. The president. Isn't that amazing? How can you even entertain the idea that people are public figures? And that's why when you see a sitting senator or you see Morning Joe and Micah, when people boo the president and you hear them go, the office of the president is supposed to be respected. Some senator said that. I forget which one. I retweeted it. But, how dare you boo a president like that? The office of the president should be respected. No, it shouldn't. Respect is earned, not just given. And it's certainly not owed to some corrupt institution, to some corrupt to the hill institution that is electoral politics in the United States. Where you have a seat where one of the prereqs is you got to be willing to be a war criminal. You got to be willing to preemptively bomb countries that pose no threat whatsoever to the United States. We just want their resources. That's a prereq for the job of the presidency. And I'm supposed to respect that office, or anybody is supposed to respect that office. That's ridiculous. If anything, it should almost be the opposite, where the office of the presidency should be greeted with skepticism, with frustration, and with scrutiny to the point of it almost being overbearing. That's how the office of the presidency should be greeted. I mean, I would go a step further. I think what should disqualify somebody from being able to run for president. And there's a comedian here in Los Angeles, Kate, who has an amazing joke about this. But I truly think this should be applied. If you want to run for president, that disqualifies you. You want to run for president? Okay, you can. You can. If you want to do this, you can. And of course, that was the original Greek democratic experiment. That was how they did it. They actually appointed people where they had to appoint the person. If you wanted the gig, you were disqualified. I like that. I really do. Now, that means if somebody recruited me to run for something, I'd have to do it, which I probably wouldn't anyway, which would make me hypocritical. And hey, guilty as charged. But because I feel that way, sometimes people are like, Ron, will you ever run for office? I always say no, because, I just don't want to get involved with electoral politics. I feel like I want to be in an industry with a little bit more integrity. That's why I stay in show business. But I'd have to practice what I preach here. And if somebody legit recruited me to run for something, I'd have to do it. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. Would I want to do something I really don't want to do and run for office, or just look like a hypocrite for a little bit? I think I'd just pick look like a hypocrite for a minute. We're all hypocrites, by the way. Are you living? Are you breathing? You're a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites at one point or another. So, yeah. But hey, I think that's why people don't echo those ideas often, because they realize, well, if I say that, that means if someone recruits me, I would have to run for something. I don't want to do that. So I'll just not mention that I like that idea. Oh, well, I already said it out loud. What can you do? Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your